welcome to another video. You see my lake in the back there? Yeah, that's my lake. Lake of water. Guys, it's been raining here non-stop for about the past 4 days. And so we have not been able to come outside to do anything. It's just been raining. So we've been uh, just doing lots of indoor stuff. But I just wanted to come outside because today finally it stopped raining. And as you can see, I have a lovely lake right here of water. Now, this we're having a big problem here because as you can see, it's just water. Water is just everywhere. It's basically a lake here. See, it's just water, water, water everywhere. So, actually, let me get out of this lake of water that I'm standing in. But anyway, we are having a big issue with the water here, and it's very windy, guys. We're having a big issue with the water here because let me show you guys something. So if you look over here, this is our neighbors. This is our neighbor's farmland, and way up in the on the hill up there, there is a spring coming down from there which runs all the way to the road, and we have like a big um open waterway running there. It's continuously running, and then what happens is when it rains, this spring overflows, and because the land is slanted over there, it comes down here. As you can see, these bushes that are growing in here is preventing the water from kind of going down into the drain that's supposed to be here because these things growing here. So it's preventing the water from going through here because there's a slant up on the hill up there. So we're having a little bit of issue with that. So every time it rains, the water comes in here, and of course it just overflows and go right over there. So we're having a big issue there, and it's just making this part of the property kind of sink, so it's becoming lower the more water that comes here. So we spoke with our neighbor, and hopefully he said he's gonna have the tractor come in and dig like a deep ditch between, like in on our property itself. It's gonna be on our property, so part of our property is gonna be on the other side, and then the drain is gonna be in the middle. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna do at some point because this is really causing us a problem. And if this continue, we're just gonna have a big flood if it rains a lot. And actually last week we had a huge flood. Our greenhouse got flooded, our shed got flooded, our chicken coop got flooded. So yeah, we're just having some real issues with flooding, and yeah, we have to really get that fixed. All right, so on a much better note, today we are going to be doing, ooh, this is some nice icons. So on a much better note, it's very windy today, guys. If you're hearing a lot of noise, it's just super windy, and it's been raining for 4 days, and now it's just very windy. So yeah. But anyways, I'm just walking around today to see what things that I should get done quickly because it's getting cold. As you can see, I'm already in my scarf. It's early in the morning and it's very snippy. So I have to wear my scarf and my very light coat. So yeah, so I came out here a couple of days ago before it started raining, and I did a really good cleaning over here. So I did a nice burn pile here. So I burned all that stuff and then I cleaned up the area here. So this area is nice and clean. Next year, we're gonna take all these flagstones out and fix this area so it's nice and clean. I'm gonna come back in and just kind of pick up all the ashes and stuff that is here and tidy that up. And then today we have to trim the some of the branches that are in the forest here. So this is our maple forest actually, maple and pine. So we have more maple than pine. I can give you guys a view. And the sun is out and it's very, very sunny. So this is our maple forest, and there's a lot of maple tree. As you can see, it's the leaves are falling and the trees are getting bare, and it's just so gorgeous in here. But I have to come in here and we have to look at all these branches. You see all these branches that is hanging here? They need to cut. So all these branches that are hanging and poking out, they need to cut because they're once the spring comes, it's making like right now because the leaves are off the branches. It's nice to walk in here, but once spring comes, it's like a jungle in here. It's really, really all the branches are kind of close up together with all the leaves on it. So it's kind of difficult to walk in here. And this year we really want to tap the maple. So we've been here for 2 years now, and we have not tapped the maples that are in here. Last spring I tapped a little bit from a tree that is close to the market garden on the other side, and it was really, really sweet and nice. So this year we want to do some tapping on those trees. We give those trees 2 years to kind of grow up, and they has really gotten big, and we're happy about that. So we're going to be tapping the trees this year, and so we want to make sure we cut the branches before spring, because if you know about maple trees, if you cut them in the spring, then you can actually hurt the trees because the sap is going to be leaking out. So you don't want to do that. You want to collect your sap in the spring, and just before the winter coming, you want to trim your trees. So we're going to be doing some trimming in here of the trees, and some of the wood, I want to use some of the wood that we trim off the trees to build something. That's going to be a secret, so I'm not going to tell you all. But anyways, I'm going to use to build some other things. So yeah, so this is our little forest here, and yeah, it's just our little maple forest, and we have quite a lot of pine in the back. But yeah, it's just nice to walk. So it's gorgeous. And then adjoining our property here is a neighbor of the hill. So the boundary is here. So as you can see, that's his farmland here. And this year they did soybeans. Yeah. And then the neighbor on the other side did corn. So that's the property adjoining, and their house is way up yonder on the hill. So yeah. So yeah, so that's what will be happening upcoming. And then next, I want to show you guys some other things that we will be doing on the other side, because we have some of these trees that I don't know, they just died. So we have to cut them down. So guys, my like those pine trees, mm, the I don't know, it's just like they smell they smell so good. It smells amazing. And then now it's time when we have the wild turkeys. So we're gonna have lots of wild turkeys coming in. They come and stay in our forest. So yeah. Okay, yeah. So let me show you all something. So we have these trees here, and they all just died. So these have to be completely cut down, and my husband started cutting some. already. As you can see right here, he cut some down. And we've been using them. We've been storing some in the barn as firewood. And we have to come and cut all of these, the rest of them down, because that can definitely be a hazard in the winter time and fall down. And nobody wants to be out here cutting things in deep snow. And then we have a next set on the other side of the property here that has also just died. And um, I don't know what is happening because they were very healthy trees and they were doing great and they all just died. So in the spring they had a few leaves and stuff on them and then they just died. So the entire row here died, and then we have a couple of them on that side and they also died. So I use a lot of these branches in early spring and middle of the summer to prop up my tomatoes and stuff in the greenhouse and different places. Yeah, so now it's time for them to come down, and they're trees are good size. They're gonna make nice firewood, nice kindling for the fire. They're nice and dry. So yeah, so these are some of the things that we have to do. We having a little bit of problem with our chainsaw, guys. That's another story I have to tell you guys. So we have 4 chainsaws, and we didn't go out there to buy 4 chainsaws, but we had one chainsaw since we were living in our house in the suburban, and because we were back down to green space and we cut wood and stuff in the back there. We made fires and do stuff, what people do. Anyways, so we had that, but it was funny because this chainsaw was a chainsaw we bought like in a garage sale. Like was like actually like for $5, I think. Really cheap. It was but a good chainsaw. I just think the people who bought the chainsaw, they didn't know the value of it. Anyway, so we bought that chainsaw. I've been using it for many, many years and it worked perfectly. And when we moved into this property, we didn't have a chainsaw because we were looking for a really powerful chainsaw and we wanted the right price. You know what I mean? So we've been using this small chainsaw to cut all our wood for the first year and it worked perfectly. So then we bought a brand new chainsaw, which was much heavier than the one that we had. And we used it for like half of a season and then it stopped working. So obviously we had to bring it to fix and then it worked off and on, off and on. So that was a big problem for us. And then in the middle of last winter, it just stopped working completely. So we had none to cut wood. And then we had to go back to our little chainsaw, which is sometimes it cannot cut big pieces of wood. So yeah, we didn't want that one to break. So this summer we decided to go out and buy a even bigger chainsaw. So we went out. This guy had one for sale, and he's an older guy now, and he's retired and he doesn't want to be cutting wood and doing all that stuff. He's going to be buying his wood instead of doing all that stuff. That's what he said. So he sold us that saw, and then he had a second one and he said, oh, just take the second home because I'm not going to be using it anyways. And in my previous video I told you guys about the goodness of God, and this is the goodness of God there. You know what I mean? And these are some of the blessings that we receive from God. So that's how we end up having 4 chainsaws. So my husband bought the chainsaw home and then it was working perfect. We cut big pieces of wood with it, and then we sent it out to be sharpened. And then when it came back, it wasn't working. So we don't know what's the problem with it. Anyways, my husband said he may need a spark plug. I don't know. So now we have 4 chainsaws. 3 isn't working, and we have the old one that we bought for $5 in the garage sale, and this one is still working, but we have to be careful with it because we don't want to be cutting stuff and break it. But anyways, we're not going to be needing to cut all kind of stuff this winter because as I told you guys in my previous video, we do a different system this year. So anyways, going back to the wood here, this is the reason why we did not cut down these trees as yet, because we're waiting for the big chainsaw to be fixed And once it's thick, we're just gonna come here, zoom, and just cut that down. We're just trying not to use our small chainsaw. Maybe for the little branches at, maybe for the small branches at the top, but lower down where it's much bigger, we're trying not to use our little trusty chainsaw for that. Okay, so moving on. The next thing that I will be doing today is getting all these pots all, cleaned up and stuff like that. I did some cleaning here before, like I tidied up some of the beds and stuff like that. But I have to come out here and collect some seeds. And once I collect the seeds, I'm just gonna leave everything. I may put some markers to mark some of the things that I don't want to pull out by accident in the next year. But I'm just gonna leave the pots like that. And yeah, because I basically did some cleaning. And we are in the greenhouse now, and the greenhouse is looking so fabulous. I've been holding on from cleaning up the greenhouse. I did just a little minor cleaning in here, like I cleaned some of these beds. So I did some minor cleaning in the greenhouse. I took out all the carrots and stuff that was growing here. I dig them up and I cleaned that side. I also brought in some of my plants in here that likes to be cold. So they don't like to be cold, but they do well when they're inside the greenhouse. And I planted some potatoes in the greenhouse, but my chickens had come in here and dig up some of them, so I have to put them back in. But as you can see, the potatoes are growing. This is just an experiment because I had some seed potato and I forget completely about them, and they are doing pretty well in there. But of course I have to come back and put some dirt on it because the chickens are getting on it. So the potatoes are doing good. Then I have some kale in here that was not doing good at all in the summer, but now that the winter has come in, they are doing so amazing. So I've been picking kale in the greenhouse. Also have to come and harvest these dill seeds. And look at this, y'all. Do you see that here? Look at that. These are doing so amazing. They are doing awesome. So I left them in here. I'm gonna come and clean up the beds for these because I leave them in here. My kale also is doing pretty amazing on that side. And basically everything that I brought inside the greenhouse is doing really well. So I'm just gonna leave them in here, but I'm just gonna do some tidy up. My chickens, I have to like keep an eye on them because once I let them out, they just do really bad job of messing up the greenhouse. So I have to keep them out of the greenhouse. Now I love this greenhouse because in the winter time, as you can see, it's so sunny in here and everything just grows amazing in here. So I just have to fix it up really well for the winter. Next week, hopefully, well, not next week, before the weekend, me and my husband is gonna put a second cover of plastic on it just to give it a little bit more insulation, and then I'm gonna come and do the beds, cover the beds once it gets much colder. So I'm gonna make a video on that when I'm covering the beds, like putting the how you call that, the I've done another brain freeze again. Hey, my rooster, he's crowing. He's calling me to feed him. Every time I come outside here, the rooster starts crowing. Yeah, so I'll be putting the hoop, like the hoop house is on. That's what I was gonna say. The hoop house is on, so then it's for some of the crops that likes warmer, a little bit warm. Yes, rooster, I heard you. Who likes a little bit warmer temperature? That's gonna be for them. Yeah. So yeah, so that's basically it. And so this is what's really happening here. And the last thing I want to show you guys in the greenhouse is this stevia. Now I've been growing stevia for the past 2 years, and look at this. This stevia is blossoming. So and it's doing pretty well in here. It's nice and warm in the greenhouse, even if the temperature dropped to like 7 or 8 at night now. but it's been doing really well. So I want to see, like, the flowers is not completely out yet, but I want to get some of that flowers and hopefully some seeds so I can grow stevia independently instead of buying stevia at the grocery store. So yeah, so that's it, guys. So I am gonna go feed my chickens. I am gonna go feed my chickens. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. Hello. Hello, you guys are hungry? Yeah, it's time to eat. Hello, chickens. I'm blocking you guys. Sunshine. Hello, chickens. How are you guys doing? You guys are hungry. Mommy's coming to feed you all. Yep. Okay, I'm coming. I'm coming. You guys are hungry. Let me see first if there's any eggs. I heard you guys are growing. Oh, you find another spot to lay. Okay, let's see the laying situation in here. Oh, you laying another spot? Yeah, so they are laying in a new spot. They were laying over here before. Oh, she's laying there and there are eggs underneath her. And now they're laying over there. So there's two different spots in there that they're laying. Okay, I'll collect eggs in a minute. Are you following me? Come on. Are you following me? Okay, come. Let's get you guys food. Let's get you food. Why are you eating these things? This is not food, chickies. Come on, let's go eat. Come on. This is your food here. Can I come in and feed you all? Or are you gonna eat the food? Excuse me, chickies. I need to come in. Excuse me. Hello, rooster. Oh my goodness, you are so massive. Hello, Mr. Rooster. How are you? You are such a good rooster. But you're so massive. Don't peck me. You are being very silly. Don't peck me, rooster. Look at him. He's so massive, but he's so protective over his ladies. He's so tall. Look at him. He's so tall. And his feet are so huge. Are you gonna go eat? No, you're laying. All right. All right, y'all. This is show number 1. Feeding the chickens. And now I'm gonna move on to show many other chores that has to be completed. My cats want to get inside. You wanna go in? Yeah, you wanna go in? All right, I'll let you guys in. Come on, let's go inside. I'll let you in. Go. Go in. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, both of you. Cats. Not even say thank you. Anyways, y'all, the video is quite long. And so, I am going to show you all in the next video all the other stuff that I did. Because I don't want to be recording a long video, but yeah. So the last thing I'm going to show you guys is finally we finished this side of the house. It's finished. My husband finished it last week, and then this is the other side. He also finished that. So we have 2 sides done. We still have 2 more sides to do, but the rain been keeping us indoors, and we need like a temperature of 18 to 19 degrees maybe in the daytime to do that. Yesterday we were planning to do it, but it rained all day. Couldn't do it. So yeah. So now we have this side, which has to be scraped, which is gonna be a ton of work to be done. And then hopefully this afternoon, it's supposed to be like 20 degrees today. So hopefully my husband is gonna come home this afternoon and we're gonna start some scraping, and then we're gonna put a coat of paint on it, but it's just gonna be some primer. I don't think we're gonna have time to do the rest of the house before the winter comes in, because so far they're not predicting any really nice warm weather. And the last thing is the barn. We wanted to paint the barn before the winter comes in, but again, it doesn't seem like we're gonna have warm enough weather to paint the front of the barn and the door. Like, guys, it's just a never-ending story. Just when we have all these things to be fixed, the barn door got broken. As you can see, you have to see this. Do you see that there? Do you see that? Yeah. The barn door just broke, and then there's a piece behind of it, like here. There's supposed to be a piece at the bottom, just broke off. Anyways, you all, this barn is a very old barn. It's close to 100 years old, or even more, and the door needs to go. So it's unfortunate that the door broke just when it's time for winter, but we're gonna have to put some kind of wood or something there. We already got some wood, so we have a pile of wood here, right here, leaning against the old van that we have parked there. So we have a bunch of wood there. We're gonna have to use some kind of wood from there to put on the barn door to keep it, and then in the spring we're gonna have to get a new door. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. I will see you in the next one, and you will see me doing all these chores around the house. So ciao ciao. I will see you in the next one. And remember, guys, you're beautiful. Think positive thoughts, and you are much more powerful than you think you are.